What was that from? Get him to the Greek. If you don't close your eyes, you can't sneeze. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or back to my channel. My name's Brittany if you've never been here before, and today's video is going to be one that I got the idea from. Is that sentence formed properly? Anyways, this video is going to be me choosing my top 5 Colourpop palettes that if I was, for whatever reason, gunned to my head, like, hey, you can only choose 5, I'm taking the rest, I'm trying to be a really nice criminal here, these are the 5 that I would choose. And I got this idea from Andrea Mattiliano, I believe is how you say her name. She did a video similar to this, and I was like, you know what, I would love to do that video. So that's what I'm doing, is that video, is choosing my top 5 Colourpop palettes. What I'm going to do is explain to you why I like it, give you some swatches of my favorite shades, and that's it. I'm going to do that, and that is it, and thank you, and you're welcome. So quickly, before we get started, do me a favor, subscribe, join the Brat Pack, and hit the bell. I'm putting out videos, well, I already put out videos every week, but during quarantine, I didn't mean to do a dance, it's not fun, but I'm putting out a lot more videos because I have a lot more time at home, obviously, and I'm using that time by making videos. So I don't have a schedule, so therefore you'll want to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future videos, and I'd love to have you here for future videos. And now I think it's time that we stop talking about it and start being about it. Are you feeling what I'm spitting? Are you catching what I'm throwing? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah. If you would like to know what 5 eyeshadow palettes from Colourpop I would keep if forced to do so, in a strangely aggressive but also considerate manner, just keep on watching. Okay, so when I was going through my palettes, there were 2 palettes that instinctually I already knew I was going to choose. The last 3 were a little bit more of like a process to make the decision, but the first 2 I was very certain about. I knew it as soon as I thought of the video idea. I was like, oh, those 2 would be in it, and I'm going to show you those 2 first. The first one on my list of top 5 palettes that I would definitely keep and grab if I was put into this predicament is the Colourpop So Jaded palette, which is a collab between Colourpop and Kathleen Lights. Now, this palette I immediately knew was going to be on my list. It was actually on my desk already. I didn't even have to dig through my eyeshadow palette buckets to get it. I just love it. I have it on my desk because I wanted to use it a bit more because I realized that it's been sitting in my boxes, not boxes, but my little buckets, and I pulled out a bunch of shadow palettes that I want to use more often and get more use out of during this. And this is one. I actually just did a look recreating a Kathleen Lights makeup tutorial with this palette, which I'll link up there in case you didn't see it. It was really, really pretty. It used this guy right here, that beautiful green. But this palette is just so versatile. It's got so many different shades, and there's so many different looks you could do that it would just make sense to grab this because, one, it's beautiful. I mean, look at it. There are so many different shades that you'll never run out of different looks to do, but there are also a ton of really, really wearable shades, like Rosy Quartz, My Precious, Royal Jewels. Like, there's so many that you could do a nice everyday look with, but if you wanted to get jazzy, you could get jazzy as well. So this is my first group of favorites from this palette. It's Rose Quartz, Moonstone, Citrine, Tiger's Eye, Geodude, Jasper, and then Stoned. That's the order from top to bottom. And those would be my favorite neutrals, but I will show you my favorite colorful ones as well. Okay, and for my favorite colorful shades, I actually forgot to add this for the neutrals, which is a shame because it's one of my favorite shades in this palette. That's Smoky Quartz. Then we have Jade, Emerald, Peridot, Sapphire, and Aladextrite, that purple one. Super pretty, super versatile palette. Get a lot of different looks out of it. Perfect Colourpop formula. It's a really good palette. All the color stories that Kathleen Lights does is always, all the palettes and color stories that Kathleen Lights does are always very good and well thought out. She's got a good eye for it, so I do enjoy her palettes, and this would definitely be one of my top 5. If I was going to have to give up all my other Colourpop palettes. Okay, so the next palette I would choose in my top 5 Colourpop palettes is one that I've talked about many times on my channel. I have done a standalone review on it, which I will link above here. I think I have a standalone review on all of these. If not, they will be coming. I actually don't know if I ever did a standalone video on So Jaded, so maybe I'll do that at some point too. But this palette I did a standalone video on, and it's one that I feel like is so underrated in the Colourpop family. And that is the Colourpop Good Sport palette. This palette is so pretty. I don't love the packaging because I'm not like I mean, actually, you know, I don't give a fuck about the packaging. I don't know why I even said that. The color story in this palette is just so pretty. The shades in here are so pretty. I don't even know if you can get this one anymore. If not, I'm sorry for even bringing it up if you don't have it. But this is about the ones that I would keep in my collection, and this one was actually the first one I thought of. This is the first one I saw because it was on my desk. This is the first one I thought of because I think this palette is so special. It's just really, really pretty. The color story might not make a lot of sense, but I feel like it goes together really well. It's like a nice fall tones, just super gorgeous. And let me give you some swatches of my favorite shades. Okay, so this is my favorite, some of my favorite shades, excuse me, in this palette. From top to bottom, it goes Rookie, which is such a special shade. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's this beautiful copper with these little purpley blue flecks in it. It's the star of this palette. Next is High Hopes, Reckless, Trooper, Hooked, Trophies, and EBB, which EBB is similar to Peridot, but let me swatch them next to each other so you can see the difference. Hopefully you can see there. I know the lighting's a little bit weird, but how am I gonna... Nope. EBB is a bit darker and Peridot is a little more lime, but they are pretty similar. But even right there, you can see the undertones are different. They're both very, very pretty. And I think that this palette's really special. I think the shades in it are really special, and I think it went under the radar. And I am happy for anyone that picked it up because it's so pretty. I remember I took this one with me to Vegas for my husband's birthday, and I did like an orange smoky eye with Rookie all over the lid, and it just looked so special to me. And that's why it's in my list of palettes that I would choose. It just looks like fall to me. This is fall on a palette, and I love it. It's like the type of fall that I want. Okay, moving on. So, the next palette that I would choose in my top 5 is actually another Colourpop and Kathleen Lights collection. I almost had 3 of her palettes in here. I almost added one other one, which is going to be like my honorable mention, but if I was going to choose one more of her palettes, which is just one that I love, and it just happens to be hers, it would be the Colourpop and Kathleen Lights Dream Street palette. This palette is so, so pretty. It's got a really cool color story, and it's got really nice, like, go-to neutrals for me, which is why I would love to have it. It's got all the neutrals that I would need for an everyday look, but with some pops of color that would make it really fun, and some nice shimmers if you like shimmer. So let me give you some swatches of my favorite shades. So those are the shades right there, and I will try to tell you what they are top to bottom, but Colourpop just has them on the back on this palette, so hopefully I'm correct, but it should be Shooting Star, Magical, Elfish, Kaleidoscope, Mermaid Boy, and Water Bearer. And what's really, really pretty is if you put Mermaid Boy on top of Water Bearer. Let me give you a quick swatch of that. Because look, at Water Bearer is just so beautiful. See, it just makes a really beautiful dark version of Mermaid Boy. And it's stunning. Another really great one in this palette that I didn't swatch is actually the white that's on the bottom right here. It looks like just like a normal like cream, but it has like a really beautiful sheen to it that's perfect for the inner corner. And that's why I love that palette. I think it's really well curated. I think that all the shades were carefully chosen, and for the time, blue was really, really popular, so having the pop-up blue in there was a very good choice, and I love to put that on the lower lash line. It looks so pretty, and that's why it's in my top 5. After every single palette, I'll say, and that's why it's in my top 5, because I can't think of anything else to say, so here we are. Okay, so the next palette that I would choose if I had to for my top 5 would be the Colourpop Ooh La La palette. Now, this is one that may not be as versatile as some of the others, but it's beautiful, and I love pink eyeshadow. I did not create this look with this palette, though I could have and I should have, but I put this on before I even thought about filming this video today. It was on my list, but I didn't know I was going to do it today, so it just works out that way. But I love pink eyeshadow looks. I feel like they look really pretty on me, and I could not go through, well, I mean, I could go through life. I could go through life just fine, but if I had the choice, I would not want to go through life without a pink eyeshadow palette, and this is my favorite one. I also have the Strawberry Shake one, but I felt like this one was a little bit more versatile, and it gives you the purple, it gives you this nice gold, it's got some more deep shades, so that's why I grabbed this one. Let me give you some swatches. So those are some of my favorite shades there. That's Soft Core, Poodle, Opulent, Sandbar, and Caddy. And I think that they're stunning. I think you can get some really pretty pink looks. I think you can get some really intense pink looks, but I also think you can get some soft pink licks if you were just to go in with like, ooh, soft core here, which is really, really pretty, and then like one of the shimmers. It would just, it's a really nice palette, that though it is primarily pink, it is versatile, and I couldn't not have a pink palette in my collection. Okay, and now for the last Colourpop palette. Ooh, actually, before I show you the last palette that I would choose, I would like to do just an honorable mention real quick of one that I was like this close to putting in, but it just got nudged out by the one that I did choose. So my honorable mention for my Colourpop palettes collection, blah blah blah, is the Colourpop Zodiac palette. I was very close to including this because this one is actually more versatile than the one I ended up going with. But when I looked at this one next to the other one excited me more, and I feel like there are shades in that one that I just love so much that I don't think I could ever be without it. This palette is beautiful. The shades are very gorgeous and it's very versatile with a lot to choose from. But let me show you what my other palette would be for my top 5. This might be surprising if you haven't seen my standalone video on this, but if you have, you already know. It's the Colourpop Smoke Show palette, man. I just love this palette. Is it an all black and gray palette? Yes, it is. Are there a million different looks that you can do? No, they're not. But in my other palettes, and the rest of the palettes that I chose for my top 5, these are shades that I cannot find there, and they are very unique, and the shimmers in this palette are so special. They're some of the prettiest shimmers that Colourpop has ever made. With this, I would get a nice black, I'd get a nice freaking stark white, some grays. This is a really good black and gray cool tone palette with shades that I can't get in the other palettes, so that's why I chose this for my number 5. The Zodiac palette's beautiful. All the other palettes I own by them are beautiful, but these are the 5 that I would choose. So let me show you those 3 shimmers because those are my favorite in this palette. And then we will wrap it up. So those are the 3 shades there. That is Smokin', Starstruck, and Full Metal. And I don't know if you can tell, but they just have the most beautiful tiny glitter particles. And I think they're my favorite shimmers that Colourpop's ever made. I think the formula is special, and I really, really, really enjoy it. And that's why I chose it. I love the cool tones. I've always wanted an all black and gray palette. When Colourpop released this, I was just like so excited. My friend tagged me in it. She's like, oh my god, they did it, because she knew that I've been wanting it. And so, of course, it had to be in my top 5. It just had to. So, okay, guys, that was me going through my top 5 Colourpop palettes. If I could only keep 5, these are the 5 I would choose, and I told you why and showed you my favorite shades. I hope that you enjoyed this. I would like to do this again with just, like, all of my palettes in general, maybe just do, like, a top 10, if I could only keep 10 palettes out of my, like, zillion palettes, which 10 they would be. And I have a lot of palettes. If you haven't seen my palette collection video that I just did, I'll link it up above, but I have a lot, so maybe a top 10 could be kind of fun. But for Colourpop, these are my top 5. Let me know down below what top 5 you would do, or just what your favorite Colourpop palette is in general. I would love to know that, because I know everyone's opinions are so different, so please let me know down below. Please do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell, because I would love to have you come back to future videos. And I think that that's it. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Thanks for being here when you could be anywhere else in the world, and I hope to see you in my next video. Okay.